no.
Original.
It's been a minute. My New Year's resolution is to blog more, so I bet she's back. Hello? It's been almost an hour, sure you know, and you told me 30 minutes. Can I get a bottle of cold water? Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna vlog more. I am at the Kingfisher in Lagos. Your good sis is finally out of Ibadan, and honestly, like, I'm trying to make plans to venture out and start a branch of the garden, not the like event center, like building part of the business, but like the decorating. We've done work here in Lagos before decorating, and I think like this is where the money is, this is where the vibe is. I would just be happier living in Lagos. Like, check out my view right now. If you guys can see it, it's so pretty. So yeah, I'm just waiting for food, and it's really annoying me that it's taken an hour. I'm actually in Lagos for a business meeting, the kind of meeting that like you just look at it and you think, how on earth did this happen? How did this come about? Like, I just see God's hand in so many aspects of my business, especially this, like putting me in front of a client that I have no right to be in front of. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, the client's running a bit late, which is fine because the vibes are so pretty here. And I'm just gonna have lunch now. But we're basically going to a private island off of Lagos Island. It's called Ikare. The meeting is with Salt Beach. It's fucking crazy. Like, I can't even believe like a brand like this big. Like, I can't even think of a more luxury place in all of Nigeria than Salt Beach, private island, Ikare. So gonna go meet them about being an in-house decorator. I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to jinx it, but I just can't even believe it. Outfit for today is this two-piece. Where did I get this from? I feel like it was Misguided or Pretty Little Thing, probably Pretty Little Thing. I got it before my Greece trip, which was good. Still fits, which is good. Another New Year's resolution is to eat better. I get a lot of exercise with the work that I do, like I'm usually constantly on my feet, but yeah, like I drink quite a bit. Now that I own a bar and a restaurant, I drink and I eat quite a bit. I got my hair done yesterday and I still look like an orange, but yeah, I just thought I'd vlog a little bit while I'm on this trip and just stick with my New Year's resolution to vlog more. So I'm noticing me, you're looking good, you're feeling good, and you're good to be back, eh?
You don't know. Bad man. Yeah. His body baby, oh. His body baby, oh. Yeah. It's a bad man thing, yeah. Bad girl make you wine to the bass, nah. Give me that thing where I go feel relate, nah. The way you back it up, the way you bust in the place, nah. Steady on time, yeah, don't be late, nah. Said I'm in love with you, and I'ma give you anything you want, and I'ma give you anything you need. Bad man, here, wine I'm doing. Said I'm in love with you, and I'ma give you anything you want, and I'ma give you anything you need. Bad man, here, wine I'm doing. Tell me low, tell me what you want.
It's mad. I want to see. I'm just like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Wow. Thank you, Jesus. It's been a really crazy day, but you know what they say, God will really put you in front of kings and queens and chiefs, and that's just what today has been, right? Like, wow. It's just mad. I heard that Dangote is got a place by it. I should really be taking pictures. Who's going to snap me? Good morning, guys. So I'm in the hotel in Lagos, just getting up. It's almost 9, so I'm getting up a bit while I'm checking up. I've been on my phone. Just made myself a coffee. I'm at the Golden Tulip, like I always stay here when I'm in Lagos. Like, it's cheap, it's cheerful. I had like my first experience here was really negative, but I gave it another chance because they upgraded my room, and every experience I've had since then has been super positive. Like, it was negative because it took them over an hour to check me in, and I was so tired and exhausted that day. But yeah, I had a really great night, super comfy. The hotel room is always spacious, clean. Bathroom is lovely. There's water, hot water. So yeah, yesterday was just a bit of a mad one, really. So anyway, I want to go down and have breakfast. Sorry, my camera cut out and I can't remember where I was. I want to go down and have breakfast, and then I want to go and handle a few things in Lagos for the business. Like, there are items that we need and we normally have like transported over to Ibadan, but while I'm here I may as well get it. My skin is like looking all glowy, and I'm not using a filter but I don't know if it's like the phone's just got a natural filter. I'm so tired, like so tired. Yeah, so I'm gonna be blogging more, hopefully keeping you guys posted, but I really want to make changes this year. Like, last year was just work focused for me, just work. I've never worked so hard in my life, and I see the benefits. Like, I see a lot of the hard work bringing fruit or bearing fruit. But I really hope I've set enough of the foundations in place that this year I don't have to work that hard. I want to delegate more, because that's, like, from the research I've been doing recently, that's what stops businesses that peak at a certain level, and businesses that just have exponential growth, you know, the ability to delegate to people that can take your business further, because only so much you as one individual can accomplish. So anyway, I'm gonna have breakfast, I'm gonna go out and just find some things for my business that I need, and then I'm going back to Ibadan. Like, it's a very quiet month for us in the garden, our decorating business. It's also quite quiet in, you know, the Arinze, our restaurant and lounge. January is just a notoriously quiet month, but I definitely want to use January to just promote the Arinze, because I feel like that is where our future money, especially passive income, that I don't really have to be too involved. Like, yesterday I wasn't there. I know they could be fine without me. I got regular updates. I've already got a report of, you know, how much sales we did. Like, it requires minimal involvement from me, whereas the decorating side of the business requires so much involvement, because I'm the key designer, and then I always feel like I have to oversee everything, because for people's special days they don't want anything to go wrong. And yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on and on, but I'm back. I'm so sorry if, you know, you've been disappointed that I've not been around, but trust me when I tell you, I couldn't juggle, you know, starting two businesses, and within my two businesses we have sub businesses within them. Like, I have so many different layers to what I do, but I think I've put the foundations in place, and I think it's quite enough now for me to pick up the camera, talk to you guys again. Dating, I wanted to do a video about it, but I've been saying for ages, like, why I haven't been dating in Nigeria. I tried, believe me, I tried. Like, what people that think I don't date black men, not the case at all. I've always said it, and I feel like I have a preference for black African men versus black, like, British, or I don't know, American. I've never dealt with a black American, so I can't say, but I kind of have more of a preference, because I feel like the values are a bit more similar inclined. And also, I do just love the way, like, African men look in traditional African clothes, like, not the ones that you over the top like Agbada, but when they come out with their, like, kaftans, and I'm like, yes, looking all good. So yeah, I tried it, but what I found, at least in Ibadan, is the majority of men are married and pretending like they're single. They are living their best single lives, and all of them are married. The biggest issue I found is that, you know, in our Nigerian culture, marriage is such a big thing. Like, I knew it was, but I didn't know the extent of it. Me, I'm enjoying it because it's good for my business, but it is, wait, coffee. It is a huge thing over here. which means that like people are expected to marry, and they're expected to marry very early on. Like for me, I'm 33, I'm not married, really not that bothered about it. Okay, getting a little bit bothered now, not gonna lie, getting a little bit bothered, not really about the marriage side, but just conscious of the clock ticking for having kids. But yeah, never been like, my parents have definitely been putting more and more pressure on the marriage thing. Everything is dropping hints, grandchildren, husband. Every prayer I have with my mom ends with, and you shall find the fruits, the bone of your bone, the fruit of I'm like, yes, mom, God has sent you. Okay, for the 1000th time, you know. But yeah, like so yeah, 33 is really not that uncommon where I grew up in the UK. Like people to get married in their 30s, or you know, here it's like if they're not married by 25, 26, like wow, something's wrong with you. So most of these men have gotten married quite young and they found their wife, but I just don't see the commitment to that wife, and like, oh, I found my special partner, I'm willing to spend the rest of my life with. In fact, I think and you know, I'm not saying I'm right, it's just my opinion. I think, you know, reason why a lot of these men are so happy getting married young is because they don't really value marriage for what it is. The institution of marriage, they don't see it as like a lifetime, you know, commitment to being loyal to that person. It's like, oh, okay, I found a good woman, she's the right woman that I want to be the mother of my children, she's like ticks all these boxes, she'll stick by me. But they're not thinking about it in like long-term commitment. I want to be loyal and faithful to this woman. At least me, I can't see it, because most of them are out here doing the absolute most. So they get married because yeah, it's something they're expected to do. They're happy to get married as well because it means they've got somebody in their corner. But are they getting married thinking, right, I have to now stop all my philandering ways? I don't think so. Not Yoruba the ones I've been meeting. No. Yeah, I remember I was at my dad's place for a wedding. I wasn't there for the wedding, but there was a wedding going on and I was just passing through. And this guy was just staring at me, and he's quite good looking, not really my type. He was a bit light skinned, which isn't my, you know, preference. He was kind of looking at me, but he was dressed really nice. You could tell like he was, yeah, I tell you, he was moneyed. And the guy was staring everywhere I moved. His eyes would follow me. So eventually he came up to talk to me and said hi. And then he, very straight in, they're very direct here, he was like, can I have your number? And I was like, yeah, sure, like easy. I like you like me, call me, let's see. So I get out my phone and I start like taking his number, giving him mine. And then he's got his phone out and I can see his hand, and oh boy, wedding ring. So I asked him, I said, are you married? And he says, yeah. And then I was like, well, you can't have my number then. And he was like, so because I'm married, you're not going to give me your number? That's the reason you're not? Like, it was like dumbfounded. It was like, to him, the two things didn't equate. So what if I'm married? Like, that's really gonna stop you from giving me your number? I was just like, oh boy, I'm tired. You people are demonic, you are mad, like you are out here in public, everybody can see you, wedding ring on your finger, you have no shame, you are a lacking in shame person. I was just like, you know, I'm done, and I walked off. And I was just like, the actual audacity of this man just thinking, so what if I'm married? Like, why should that stop me from enjoying you? I was just like, so that was one of my experiences that just frustrated me. But the one where I actually finally fucking gave up was, I met this guy on Tinder, like I matched with him, and we talked a little bit, and then he called me on the phone and we just got on like a house on fire. He was funny. He was from Abuja originally. It's one of like the biggest cities in Nigeria, and like I could tell he traveled, which is very important to me because it's like, I've had international experiences, you know, I've gone to really nice places. I want someone that can share these things and has lived kind of like similar, not someone who'd been in Nigeria forever. So we were talking, we got on like a house on fire. The boy was fine, you know, he was tall, had a good job, like yes, and like he made me laugh, like he was so funny. And we're talking on the phone. Then like I had to get to work, so like later that day he called me, we're talking again. I was like in a restaurant, and just then we started talking by text, and like just talking so much, I'm literally in my mind already planning our wedding. And then how did it happen? He asked me, he was like, do you mind me asking if you're married? And I was like, no, I'm not married. Why'd you ask? And he was like, oh, because I think in one of your pictures on Tinder, there was a ring on your wedding finger. And I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't even realized, but I just explained that sometimes I do wear one there just to repel unwanted attention, but I didn't know I'd put it on Tinder. So like I let that go. And we kept talking, and he'd asked me, do I have a husband and kids? And I was like, no. Kept talking, and I was like, should I ask him? Should I not ask him? I was like, there's no way this guy can have a wife and kids the way we're vibing, the way he's on Tinder, even the way he asked me. Like, he clearly doesn't have a wife and kids. But if you guys ever watched my story time about Femi, like the black guy that I dated when I was at uni, and what happened there when I found out he had a girlfriend, and when I confronted him, and this guy said, well, you never asked. In his chest, Femi told me I never asked. That's why he didn't tell me. So I had that in the back of my mind, because I swore to myself that, because I was actually dumbfounded when Femi told me that. I was like, it's true, I actually legit never asked, and I swore to myself I would never not ask again. So even with this guy, I was like, well, there's no way, but let me just ask, let's just get it out of the way, let me just ask. To my absolute shock and horror, this man said, yes, I do have a wife, and I've got a 1-year-old. 1-year-old, and you're on Tinder looking for what? And he says, yeah, they're living in Abuja, kept telling me stuff, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm just checking out. We were already walking down the aisle. I am now backtracking back to my father's arms. Yeah, not my husband. And I'm just like, what? And then he was like, so are you gonna like react badly and call me names? I'm not going to react to anything, call you names. He said, oh, that's what most women do when they find out I'm married. I'm like, well, yeah, because I don't understand what you're doing on Tinder if you know you've got a wife and a 1-year-old. And he's like, yeah, but they're not around. I said, you know what? I said, thank you very much. It was lovely talking to you, but I wish you the best. I don't want any woman coming to fight me. I don't want to be in anybody's, story times on YouTube. No, thank you. It's not for me. And honestly, after that, I just haven't bothered, because in my mind, he was just the fucking best. Like, ugh. And I was just like, you know what? I just like... It is probably possible to meet like a 35-year-old, 36-year-old guy in like Nigeria who's not married, doesn't have kids or whatever. I don't even mind having kids, to be honest. Maybe one, like not like a whole bundle. But I don't think I'm gonna meet them in Ibadan. I think there's probably more of a chance in Lagos, where it might be like expats that have come back, people that maybe have lived abroad, where that pressure to get married young hasn't been so intense. But yeah, that has been my experience. And it's not just those two, like so many married men, like old ones, young ones, they don't care. They don't care. 1-year-old, and yeah, already looking, and it's obviously not me. He's been doing this with lots of other women. I at least I congratulate him on his honesty. I'm like, thank you at least for being honest. Like, I appreciate it, but it's not for me. So that's been my experience dating. I've kind of said I won't do it at the moment. I'm really getting along well with, I can't remember what I called him on my channel. If you guys can think who possibly I've had on my channel before that was just awesome. Like, this guy is just fucking awesome and sweet and kind, and we've been talking for months. I'm gonna go see him. So we had a video call last night when I got back from the island, and honestly, he's just dreamy AF, and I'm just like, you know what? And things like this, where when I was younger and a bit more wild, because I was a bit of a wild one, I couldn't really appreciate a guy like him who was just nice and safe and secure, probably wanted a bit more edge, probably wanted a bad boy. And now I'm like, I just love how fucking cute and sweet and lovely you are. But yeah, I'm not gonna share like my love life these days, unfortunately. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know. But like, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But yeah. So yeah, that is the vlog. I hope you guys are good. I hope it feels good to have me back, and I hope I'm more consistent in 2023. So I'm even just doing me. I'm looking like fish wife. I'm feeling good.
Original bad man, mash up the place. Just say no, 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 no.